Hello, trading is closed on April 24th, 2019. We'll go over our calls. We said that 29, 36, 34 may become an optional target, but the real thing normally prints anyway. The real thing printed. Note how the target we've had for over 6 months was a resistance area. Market never forgets these numbers. We said trading over yesterday's close was an indication that resistance was broken. So that means higher prices should print, but we said if we didn't gap and probably take out this high, it was negative and we should see lower prices, which we did. Let's go over the intraday calls first. We rallied here. MEJT said prices would retrace because the move was false. We got it. Said ultimately higher price it would print, but they were false and targets undercutting these lines. Optionally 2926.08, 95% chance it prints tomorrow, and we should see prices a few cents lower. Let's not forget that's really only a point or so under where we closed, and these numbers aren't only targets, they're support levels, so I don't think I get too wild about the sell side here. Tomorrow's pattern is the one with the early low and the late high. Normally it's a rally day and closes near the high. If it's a negative day, typically you'll see a big drop in the first 1 hour, sometimes the first 2 hours. If we don't see that, there's a good chance we're going to have an all-day rally after the initial drop, should it occur. Now, this really isn't that bad a pattern. If this were the high, you would expect a more impulsive decline than you see now. We dropped all day, couldn't take out this low, and this line is 5 minutes before the close. You'll see 5 minutes before the close, despite this reaction to resistance, we weren't under any of these prior lows, so it's not very enthusiastic action by the bears. Now, things are getting pretty hairy here because we're staying within these two lines, and it won't be long before we break out of them. I'm not certain how significant that's going to be. When you go this close to the apex, you don't always get the significance you do if you break out earlier. It's kind of like the market made up its mind that it can't make up its mind. If we do drop, we have this beautiful pattern, but of course you'd have a wave count all the way up, which would say we're going to drop, and it hasn't hit the end yet. Tomorrow, this is my target, which isn't too much lower, support under the target. If we don't get a big drop early, I look for a rally, most likely into the final hour of trading. If we do get a big drop, it's credible, but I think there's just so much breadth here, and the failure to immediately reverse yesterday's breakthrough of resistance augurs for higher prices before the close tomorrow, as long as we avoid a big drop early. And that's today's call.